Hi everybody, my name is Darla. I teach yoga at Serasana. I'm so happy that you're joining me today for a Yin class. So I like to get my classes started with getting ourselves centered. So let's come to a comfortable seat on your mat. Feel free to use a blanket or a bolster as a cushion. You can just sit on the very edge of the blanket just to give the hips a little bit of height so the knees can lower down. Allow the eyes to close. Let the face get soft and relaxed, especially the jaw and in between the brows. Lengthen up through the spine. Maybe pull the flesh away from the sitting bones as you root into the mat. Lift the crown of the head. Begin to take some nice, deep, full breaths. Any way you want. You may want to inhale through the nose. You may want to exhale out through the mouth. Any type of breath work that you choose. Begin to let go of thoughts and worries, things that no longer serve you as much as you can. Let those go. And keep coming back to how you're breathing. Let's come back to our Ujjayi breathing. Inhaling through the nose, exhale through the nose with the back of the throat closed just slightly. This is a calming breath work. Relaxes the central nervous system and gets our bodies ready for our practice. I like to start my classes with a quote. My favorite quote is by Judith Lassiter, and it goes like this. Yoga is not about touching your toes. It's about what you learn on the way down. Let's bring the hands to the heart center. We'll chant Om one time. Inhale to chant. And release the hands into the lap. Feel free to keep the eyes closed. We'll just begin to move the head and the neck in any way that feels good to your body. It may be in a full circle. It may be in a half circle. It may be up and down. Or it could be side to side. Or it could be a little of all. So you find what feels best for your body today, and then just begin to move around. When you notice that the neck, if it starts to feel tight or stuck, please pause there and just breathe before you continue your movement. You don't want to just take the head all the way through if it is tight or tense. So just take some nice deep breaths here and notice how the head is feeling as you move it around. And then bring the head back to a neutral position. And let's roll the shoulders around, bringing the shoulders up towards the ears and then relaxing the shoulders down. Feel free to keep your eyes closed as much as you want during our practice. When we have our eyes closed, all distractions are gone from our sight. We can still hear things, but all of the distractions of sight are gone. And it allows us to go inward a little bit more as well. All right, so our practice today is called Wall Yin, and most of our poses are going to be done next to the wall. So take your mat and have your mat perpendicular to the wall. I'll show you the way I like to get up onto the wall. We want to get as close to the wall as we can. So we want the sitting bones right there flush with the wall or your baseboards, wherever you're going up against. If you are uncomfortable on your back for an extended period of time, you may want to take a blanket and you may want to place a blanket right at your low back. If you don't have any back issues, don't worry about it. You may want to just bring it a little bit further down so that you can have it at the low back. All right, so to get into your legs up the wall or our wall yin, we're going to come onto one of either side that you want, come all the way down, and then really push your sitting bones onto that wall. So you want to feel the sitting bones there. And then start to come onto the back and just bring the legs up. And then you can adjust yourself on the mat as you need to become comfortable. So we don't want to be leaning onto one side or the other. All right, so we'll be starting with legs up the wall. We're just going to keep the legs up here and really try to make sure that everything is as close to the wall as possible. So with our hands, you can let the hands be by your side. You may want to have one hand on the heart, one on the belly. You may want to have the arms open to a T. Any way that you want to place the arms is perfectly fine, even resting on the stomach or the rib cage. So we'll just be here. We're going to start to follow our breath. Our legs up the wall pose is a very relaxing pose. It's a wonderful pose to do before you go to bed at night. It's great for helping any varicose vein issues. It allows the blood to go in the opposite direction than what it normally does. And then we'll start to make some movements with the toes, the ankles. Maybe bring the knees in a little bit or cross at the ankles and kind of draw the hips up a little bit. So any kind of movement you want to make here. And then we'll come back to extending the legs straight up the wall. So if you moved away, try to get back as close to the wall as you can, even if you have to start over from your side and then bring your legs up. All right, our next pose that we'll be coming into will be a wide V pose. So we want to open the legs as wide as it feels comfortable. And remember, we're going to be here for a while, so take your time. If you're really tight in the groin area, you may want to stop here. You may want to just let the legs ease down. Now, we don't have to worry about flexing the feet in this posture. You have an option of taking your hands to the inside of the thighs and just letting the weight of the hands bring the legs down a little bit more. So we're not pulling or tugging on the legs. I just have the hands resting on the legs to provide a little bit of additional weight. Now you can also use your blocks here. If you feel like you're having to use a lot of muscles, which we don't want to use in our yin practice, we want to really feel supported. So you may want to take your blocks and you may want to have your blocks underneath the thighs at any level, just to provide a little bit of support. And then as things start to open, if you want to lower your blocks a little bit, or maybe push your blocks away, that's fine too. But just make sure that you feel very supported in your posture, that you're not having to use any muscles. So again, we'll just stay here and breathe, letting go of your thoughts or worries. Nowhere else to go, nowhere else to be, no one to talk to. Just being on your mat with yourself. And then taking the hands to the outside of the legs, we'll draw the legs back together to come back into our legs up the wall. We want to pause here and be very still for just a moment, allowing all of the synovial fluid to flow through the connective tissues. And then you can begin to make whatever movements again that you would like with the legs, with the feet, toes, ankles, maybe kind of bouncing the legs around, just getting some feeling into them. And then our next pose is reclined butterfly. So we're going to be bringing the soles of the feet together, and then you decide how far down you want to bring the heels. So if you're super tight, again, you may want to start more up the wall, and then as you begin to open, we can allow the heels to come down a little bit more. So find what's comfortable for you. And then again, if you want to take the hands, you can very gently just press the inner thighs open here. Very, very gently. So it's not a hard push. And if you want to use your blocks again to support the thighs, any level that you choose, feel free to use your blocks for support. And we'll breathe. Again, really focusing on the hips and the groin in this particular pose. So in our yin practice, we want to find our comfortable edge and not go over that edge. So 60 to 80% of your total flexibility is what we're going to be shooting for. So you don't want to come into 100% of the pose or of your flexibility in the pose. And then we'll take the hands to the outside of the legs. Let the hands do the work to draw the knees in, and then extend the legs back up the wall, pausing here, being still. And then make any movement that your body wants. You can always bring the knees in for a moment if you need to. All right, our next pose is our figure 4 up the wall. And this is a great pose for opening into the hips and the glutes. So we're going to take the right ankle, and we're going to place that right ankle right above the left knee. And then we'll slowly begin to slide the left heel down the wall until the sole of the foot comes onto the wall. And then keep moving the foot down the wall until you find exactly where you want to be in this stretch. And you may just stay here if you have a very, very tight hip. So you may not be able to bring the sole of the foot to the wall, and that's okay. Just bring it where you can, and then keep breathing into it. We want to make sure that we keep that right foot flexed in this pose to protect the knee. And then if you want to gently press the right knee away, you can. Or again, if you have your block and you want to maybe prop the block up a little bit so that it can push against this leg, push it between the ribs and the thigh, that's fine. Now we're going to stay here and breathe. Try to be as still as possible once you find the pose, once you find where you feel like you can allow the body to open on its own, get comfortable, and then try to be still. then staying in your figure 4, wherever that is for you, we'll take a twist from here. So we're going to be twisting over to the left. Just begin to roll onto that left hip. Depending on where your legs are, you may be able to bring the sole of the right foot onto the floor, or maybe tuck that left foot under. We want to keep the chest pointing up to the sky with the shoulder blades on the mat. And you may want to use your bolster or your block here underneath the knee, again, just for some support. Adjust your feet as you need to, and then become still. Arms can be in any position that feels good. So in our twist, we're detoxing the liver and the kidneys. This is a nice stretch for the lower back as well. Still opening into the hip and the glute here. And then we'll slowly start to come back to center, help the legs with the hands, and then unwind the legs with the hands to extend the legs back up the wall, coming back to our starting pose, being very still. And then make whatever movements you want here. And we'll do that same sequence on the other side. So we'll be taking the left ankle above the right knee, and then start to slide the right heel down the wall, maybe onto the sole of the foot, maybe all the way down, flex into this left foot. Now when you slide that foot down, you will feel the hips move away from the wall, and that's okay. But it's important to not push into the wall with the foot, because as soon as you push into the wall, you lift the hips up, and then you lose the stretch. So the hips moving away is okay, the hips lifting up is not. All right, so here we are, staying here, maybe pressing that left thigh away, maybe taking a block or blanket or something in between the ribs and the thighs to open the hip a little bit more. And then keeping the legs in the figure 4, we'll begin to take our twist over to the right this time. So rolling onto the right hip, sole of the left foot comes down wherever, You can also use your block underneath the foot. If the foot doesn't touch down, just rest your foot there. And then if you need a prop for the knee, go ahead and use your bolster, your block. Make sure the chest is pointing up to the sky, shoulder blades are on the mat. Relax into your twist. Nice deep full breaths. And then we'll slowly start to come out of our twist, helping the legs with the hands, unwinding to extend the legs up the wall. Pause here for a moment, being still. And then make whatever movements you want here. And we'll slowly start to bring the knees in. We're going to roll to one side very slowly. Take your time. We've been on our back for quite a while. We just want to pause here. And then gently begin to press yourself up. Then we're going to come onto the back again. But we're not going to be against the wall right now. So let's come onto the back. Take your time. Bring the knees in. Make any movements you want here. And we'll begin to make our journey into our Savasana, our resting pose. Let the arms come by your side, away from the body with the palms facing up. Eyes are closed. Face and jaw are relaxed. Maybe bring the shoulder blades a little closer together underneath you. Settle back in. Legs and feet just fall open naturally. Continue to let go of thoughts and worries. And allow yourself to just be for the next few moments. Begin to deepen the breath as you bring your awareness back to your mat, moving your fingers and your toes. Draw the knees into the chest. Roll to one side, rest your head on your arm for a moment. And come up to a seated position with the eyes still closed. Yoga is not about touching your toes. It's about what you learn on the way down. Bring the hands to the heart center. We'll chant Om one time. Inhale to chant. I thank all of you for joining me in practice today. I'd like for you to thank yourselves for showing up on your mat. Thank your body for all the amazing things it does for you every day. I wish for you Shanti, peace in your soul, Santosha, contentment for your life, and I pray that you always honor the Satya, the truth that's in your heart. Namaste. Thank you all for joining me in our Yin practice, and I hope to see you again very soon. Namaste.